playing America's best music, 95.9 FM, WEZC. News time, 8 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday morning. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Last week at the DeWitt County Board meeting, the board discussed the remaining dollars from the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA. The funds have been hugely beneficial to DeWitt County with projects inside the courthouse and the jail, sheriff's office, and 911 center, as well as helping nonprofits in Clinton and DeWitt County. Those dollars are set to expire at the end of the year, and Board Chair Dan Matthews says the county needs to start planning for what budgets will look like without those dollars.
I mean, people have budgeted, and we have not just paid all of the unexpected expenses or even planned expenses out of ARPA. So the sheriff's department has used some of their own funds for other projects they've had. So, as well as other the property, some of the building projects that we've had done. But it's what other technology needs are we going to need coming up? And I think that's one thing we really need to look at. And we've done a good job over the past year or two changing over to digital filing and some things like that that's more efficient. But as we kind of saw last Friday, it doesn't take much to bring down your IT infrastructure. And we saw that all across the country. So we want to make sure that we continue to provide technology where it makes sense, digitize things for all departments. We've done a lot in the county clerk's office. We're working to do some in the circuit clerk's office. So those kind of things are probably what I'm talking about budgeting, because some of those are big expenses to be able to have the equipment, have the IT infrastructure to do those, continue to enhance the website for information for people. So those are the things I see right now that we'll be talking about, but we're hoping with some discussions, and we had a little bit the other night about meeting specifically with each department head. So we haven't really done that in the past as far as talked about budgeting, talking about exactly their needs ahead of budgeting for future, not just next year. We're going to try to do, put a lot more effort into the committees exploring those department heads that they work with to make sure we understand what they need and try to budget and plan for those items more than we have in the past.
There's roughly $200,000 left from the ARPA funds, and the county received. Matthews is supportive of the board taking a look at what is left and finding a path that is best for the use of those dollars.
I believe we still have a little over $200,000 of unallocated funds from our original ARPA funds that we got. So, as kind of discussion the other night, of that $200,000, we want to again talk with the department heads before someone else just comes and says, hey, I need $150,000 for this. It's not that it comes out of the blue, but it's like, oh, I have a need and there's some money, let's go grab it. I think what we really want to do is say, okay, everyone, here's what we have left. What do you need? Let's prioritize those things, and then let's determine, can we use those funds for some more immediate needs, and those that we agree that hey, we need to do this project or that project is okay. Now let's maybe spend part of the ARPA funds on it, and let's budget for those items. And so, in addition to those a little over 200,000 in unallocated funds, we still have funds that we allocated to the community that have not been paid out yet. So, in order for those people to get their money, they have to have a specific project, which they all did and met the requirements along the way, but some haven't started their projects yet. So we have a couple large ones that we haven't paid out yet that need to be taken care of before the end of the year. So they need to either get projects in place, get their purchase orders to us so that we can distribute those funds, because if they don't get used, we'll lose the money. We certainly don't want to lose the money.
As budget time approaches for the county board, Matthews anticipates the county being in good shape once again this year. He credits County Administrator Dee Dee Rentmeister and Finance Chair Melanie Tilley for their hard work on the budget. He also credits the DeWitt County department heads for their dedication to keep spending down and maintain responsible budgets. The city of Lincoln is lowering its number of video gaming terminals. Mayor Tracy Welch wants to work on lowering the amount of video gaming terminals in the city. He explains in his time as mayor, they've already lowered that amount, but there's more work to be done. He says the city council has approved guidelines to put limits on the topic in the city code.
One of the topics that I brought up here recently was, and there was no specific trigger, it was just the timing of it, was video gaming. And for the last couple of years, I've taken a stance in the city of Lincoln that those businesses that have those terminals grandfathered in, of course, and we make some exceptions, but we're trying to get the number of our terminals down. We were up to 240 terminals in the city of Lincoln when I started on this topic, and we're down to 200. We're really trying to get that under control. And so this past couple of weeks, I took that to the council. My stance has been I haven't been signing any new certificates. I've just simply said I'm not. But I wanted to put something in the code that actually gave rules for people to follow and set some healthy limits. And so worked with council. They approved that this week. And I was very glad that they were in support of this approach.
One of the main concerns over the action is the loss of revenue. Mayor Welch assures this is not going to be the case, and city revenues continue to rise despite lowering the number of terminals. Even if it was the case, the process can be slow, so the loss of revenue would not be immediate.
One of our council members felt that there might be some fiscal impacts to it, a loss of revenue. I'm not convinced of that. I think that the fact that our revenue continues to go up, it's on an upward trend, and yet our terminals, our number has gone from 240 to 200, tells me that we haven't reached a saturation point yet. And so I think we'll be good, but it takes a while even to come down even 5 terminals. It takes a while for that to happen. And so it's not like something will happen abruptly. If we start to see signs that we need to make an adjustment, we've got time to do that.
Mayor Welch feels it's important to make the change in order to improve the perception of the town for future residents and businesses. He claims to have received complaints about all the signage and flags on the street, calling it a mini Vegas.
The thing that comes with the gaming is the flags and all of the signage, and it goes out by the roads. And I've got plenty of feedback over the last few years about, when you drive down Woodlawn, it's starting to look like mini Vegas. There's gambling on every corner. I mean, the flags are out there waving on Woodlawn. And while I think that we're still fine with our revenue that's coming in, and I don't anticipate we'll have an issue with that, we also have other missions going on, that things we're focusing heavily on, myself and others, and that is to grow the economy down here and grow the population. And we have to put our best foot forward when we have prospective businesses that want to come to town. They need to come to town with some confidence that they're going to see a return on an investment that they may make in our community. Mm-hmm. Also, we want people to come to town and raise a family. We got a beautiful little town down here. It's very historic. And we want people to believe that when they come into town, there's a lot more than what you see at first glance. And so we don't want to hurt businesses, but in the same breath, we're working hard to grow our economy too. It's kind of a multifaceted thing.
Welch explains the appropriations process is underway in Lincoln. That can be long, and funding has to be prioritized correctly, but they remain focused on the issue in Lincoln. The first day of the McLean County Fair was yesterday, and there's plenty of fun to be had at this year's fair. Fair manager Mike Swartz explains his role in the commercial side of planning a fair. It's his job to organize the contract with the carnival, the food stands, the free on-grounds entertainment, and much more.
So it covers the contract with the carnival, our food vendors, commercial exhibitors, free on-grounds entertainment, and our grandstand track. And then we have a relationship with the 4-H, in which we host the 4-H show at our county fair.
And how long have you been doing this?
This is my 21st fair.
21st fair. Is this your favorite one so far?
I'm sure it is. I can tell you it's all based upon weather. If it's not real hot or it's not raining, it's a good fair.
Swartz notes the school supply drive is the impact it has on DeWitt County, as well as all the fun events that are put on at the festival.
We actually partner with the largest school district in McLean County, which is Unit 5, the school district for town of Normal. And we actually ask people to donate school supplies. We cut their entry fee by 80% because we know they're going to spend money on school supplies. And then we charge them $2 to get in. Because of this fair and the supplies that run through our fair, we're actually able to be the biggest supplier of school supplies that are given to students who need the financial support and those items for their classes. So on the carnival side of things, we actually have a pay one price. You can ride all day long for the same price. So if you come at 1 or you come at 6, you pay one price. You can ride as many as you want, unlimited rides. Tonight's grandstand is TNA bucking bowls and barrel racing. That's at our grandstand. And then, of course, we have about 6 or 7 different free entertainment options for them all day long.
Farm Bureau Assistant Manager Anna Ziegler explains the Food and Farm Fun Zone, where people can experience different kinds of farm equipment, baby animals, and make and take activities. The goal is to inform people of where their food comes from and what the process looks like. She notes it's for all ages, and they host a daycare group.
My primary responsibility is facilitating what we call the Food and Farm Fun Zone, and that's all about helping our urban neighbors understand where their food comes from and have the opportunity to meet some farmers. Well, we've got farm equipment. We've got a full-size combine with a corn head on it that folks can climb into. We've got a tractor they can get their picture with. There's all kinds of stickers, so that's always popular with the kids. If you watch the kids that are coming out of the exhibit, they're basically a billboard with all of our stickers on them. We've got some baby animals. There's chicks hatching, so you can watch some chickens hatch. We've got some baby goats, baby piglets, and a couple lambs. So some animals that you can see in pet. And then we've got a make and take activity and just some other hands-on things that kids can learn about the connection from the farm to their table. Some of the activities are kind of for the 4 to 12 probably age range, but our hope is that parents, grandparents, and other adults that are coming in with their kids, they learn right alongside them. So the activities may be for the kids, but it's for parents to learn and learn about too. Yeah, so we offer daycare tours on Thursday and Friday morning during the fair. So we had 2 groups come in this morning, and then we've got like 5 coming tomorrow. So wow. It's an opportunity for them to come out and we provide a guided tour. It's about 40 to 45 minutes of the fair. So they go through, they see all the livestock barns, they see the 4-H projects, and then they end here at the Food and Farm Fun Zone where they can collect all those stickers. There's a prize they can earn if they do all the activity stations. And there's also free face painting in that area as well. And then in the afternoons, we also have a balloon twister. So lots of fun and lots of things to see and do while you're out here at the fair.
The McLean County Fair continues on through the weekend with more fun events. Find out more about the McLean County Fair at mcleancountyfair.org. News time is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday. We've got plenty more coming your way on WHOW.
We value your trust in us. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. Yes, our goal is to earn your trust each and every day. That's why we have prices posted for each car, truck, and SUV, new or used, on our lot, or on our website. Currently, we have a great selection of new and used Silverados priced to move in $1,500, $2,500, or $3,500s. Come see us and all our inventory. Baum Chevrolet Buick. We want to be your trusted transportation option. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
News time is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Thursday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. Heading towards the new school year, how many ag teaching openings remain? Here's an update from the FCAE's John Heiser.
So, yeah, we still have about 14 openings still left throughout the state. And so the best thing, the only opportunities we have left is either pulling somebody out of state that may be interested in coming back or getting that education license with stipulation. And like you talked about, our website, we also have the roadmap. There's an actual document that walks you through those steps. But I would just encourage you, if you ever had a positive experience in FFA and ag education when you were a student and you want that opportunity to use your industry knowledge and experiences to better our students in industry, being an ag teacher is that opportunity. ag teachers affect so many lives and prepare our students for both post-secondary and the industry. And so you have a great impact on the future. And I would encourage you, if you've ever thought about it, to give it a chance, and we will be glad to help you in many ways.
More info on ag teaching is at ilaged.org. The family of the woman killed by a Sangamon County deputy in Springfield says they want to know more about the immediate investigation that surrounded her death and why they were first told that she had possibly been shot by a neighbor or had committed suicide. Sonia Massey's family members say they did not know for a day that she had been shot by a Sangamon County deputy. They learned the details by hearing it on the news. Massey's father, James Wilburn, says without the body cam video, he figured they would never know the truth, and he wants Jack Campbell, the Sangamon County Sheriff, to step down.
I want to say again, I'm calling for the sheriff's resignation because I think it's a culture to treat this family this bad, to call these lies. If it were not for that camera footage, we as a people, they would have lied, and they'd have lied their way right out of this. So he needs to resign. So no matter who of his emissaries try to come and talk to me, I'm not going to talk to anybody unless my attorney's with me, because you will never twist anything I said. I'm very clear and I'm very eloquent. He needs to resign.
Civil rights attorney Ben Crump says they want to see all the body cam video of that night as police began to respond to the shots fired call, and to see how police handled communication to family members who arrived at the house and then at the hospital. President Joe Biden announced he will not seek re-election over the weekend, forcing the Democrat Party and its supporters to make quick decisions on their next pick for the presidential seat. Now, with the upcoming Democratic National Convention in August, adding pressure to the party leaders on who to endorse moving forward. Dr. Kent Redfield, professor emeritus of political science at the University of Illinois, broke down just how unprecedented the situation is for Democrats with the election looming in a short time frame to name a candidate.
It's a monumental event. The first time since 1968 that a sitting president, at that time Lyndon Johnson, has chosen to withdraw from the race. And obviously, President Biden has withdrawn much later than Johnson. Johnson withdrew in the end of March back in 68, and we're towards the end of July. So the shortness of the time frame makes it unusual, but it's all 50 years almost since this has happened. So I mean, what has happened is once President Biden said, "I'm withdrawing my name, I don't want to run," then under the rules of the Democratic National Party, all of those delegates that are coming to Chicago next month, 4,000 plus delegates, those that were elected as pledged to Biden are now uncommitted.
Illinois State Senator Steve McClure believes Governor J.B. Pritzker will be working hard to have his name in the conversation as vice president for Kamala Harris, who rose to the top quickly after the announcement was made.
I think it's hard to trust any endorsement from J.B. Pritzker because he's been on his own dime traveling around the country talking about how wonderful Joe Biden is and how qualified he is. Now, at what point did he realize that Joe Biden does not have the capacity at this time to be president or to run for re-election? And we'll never know at what point he realized that. But he did endorse Kamala Harris. I suspect that's because he wants to be her vice presidential candidate. And with the convention being in Chicago and with Governor Pritzker having unlimited personal funds, it should be interesting coming up. But again, Governor Pritzker is very political. That's why he was going around telling people how great Joe Biden is, and now he's going to be very political with this endorsement because he wants to be vice president. And the reason I say he wants to be vice president is because all of his policies seem to be directed towards an extreme left Democratic primary, unfortunately to the detriment of the people of Illinois, and now he wants to capitalize on that to try to get him on the national ticket.
Senator McClure believes the President Biden did not leave the race without a fight and criticizes the timing of the decision as the primary for the Democrat seat had already been selected.
But he went kicking and screaming. He did not want to go out of the race. I mean, that's the report that I just read this morning, was that he didn't want to do it, but he just was essentially forced out. Again, you've got the sitting Democrat president who has won the nomination, got millions of votes from people all across the country, and now the so-called party that loves democracy, the Democratic Party, forces him out with backroom power brokers and politicians. They force their will over the will of the people. And you have to question why, and if they had concerns like many of us had, why would you not allow him to debate in the Democratic primary for president? I mean, these are all really questions. And then, by the way, why was the debate so early? Yeah. We've never had a presidential debate this early. And I think in hindsight, it looks like the debate was so early to test whether or not Joe Biden could do it. And he obviously can't do it. But again, why wouldn't you want him to be tested during the primary? Why after he's already won the nomination?
Kamala Harris has been selected as the candidate for the Democrats, saying she has secured the needed number of delegates to secure the nomination. 29 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Friday. Coverage of news is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Coming up on